Sonny, congratulations, mate. World champion.
Oh, thank you. I thought you was congratulating me on the interview then.
Congratulate me for that. Do you know, you're my new claim to fame, mate.
Your new claim to fame?
Yeah, because...
That's not a very good one.
But you were the first kid that I filmed as an amateur. Yeah, I think it was back in 2014. You were winning the national youth. I think it was against the good kid from Liverpool, Andrew Kane. Yeah. Fantastic performance. And I think I bumped into you not long after that. And how long was it after that you turned pro? Because it wasn't long, was it?
About a year and a half. I think I had 1 year in the seniors after that, and then went. Funny story about that Andrew Kane. He fought on the same show that I won my world title.
Oh, did he?
So
he did,
So for fight week, like the day before the weigh-in, that we just sat there speaking about old times for about 5 hours. It was wicked, man.
Talented kid as well.
Really good kid, Andrew Kane. Look out for him. Good friend of mine as well, man. Good friend of mine as well.
Well, I mean, you was always good friends with Lyndon. You're like your big brother, isn't it?
Twin brother. Twin brother.
Well, I used to see you because you'd always come down to the Pat Barrett shows, and you was always down there. I remember chatting to you, and you was early on in your career, and you told me you was going to be world champion.
I did. I said it.
And you were?
I've been saying it for a long time. Yeah, there. You see the whole setup down there, Pat from the top, and all the fighters. They're just good people. Do you know what I mean? And they're people that, without boxing, I'd still be very close to and very good friends with.
Were you on the GB squad with Lyndon then? Was that it?
Yeah, that's how we got close. We met, I think, the year before. My brother was in the ABAs when he won the ABAs, and Lyndon was there. And I think he might have got to the quarters or the semis that year.
Yeah, because he got to the final twice, didn't he?
Yeah, final. He got to the final. Yeah,
twice.
But that year I just met him, and then obviously by the next year, times he was in, I was good friends with him. We've been on GB and that matter.
So you're leading the way now. You're going to show him how to become a world champion.
I mean, I've been leading the way for a long time. I'd like to think. You know what I mean? So Lyndon and Zelf, I'm showing them. You know, inspiring the youth. Do you know what I mean? I'm inspiring.
How do you feel now then? Because you've been telling everyone for years what you're going to do, and now you've gone and done it. Does it feel any different? Do you feel any different?
Not really, because I feel like I'm quite real. Every time I said that I'm going to be a world champion, or I'm going to be, I genuinely believed it to the point of, it's not a surprise to me. I mean, it was my biggest night. I can't say in my life because I've got 2 sons. So, say the 3rd biggest moment of my life. Winning the world title, I wasn't jumping up, I wasn't screaming. I mean, I was excited.
You just knew it was always going to be there.
Because I weren't surprised about the result. I've been planning for it and preparing for it for the last 16 years.
But that was the #1 in the world. It wasn't just winning a world title. You beat the man.
But when I always say that I think I'm the best in the world, and I've said that, you can go back to interviews, go through the archives.
I know, mate.
I've said, no disrespect to anyone, even when my brother was a world champion, no disrespect to anyone, I think I'm the best in the world. I think on my day, I get in with anyone at the same weight as me, and I do them nightmares, and
what's your intentions going forward? You know, you're 25, aren't you now?
25.
So 25, you're literally a baby in this game, right? So you're already a world champion. Is it what, do you want to unify at flyweight and then move up to super flyweight and become a 2-weight world champion? You know, the world's your oyster, isn't it?
Yeah, the world is literally my oyster, and I did it at, what I'm really buzzing, I managed to do it the perfect way. The first world title, I didn't have to suffer a loss to get through to get there. Do you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, I understand that that makes a lot of fighters, you know, coming through the adversity, but I'm happy that we've sort of planned the perfect route. That shows how good my team is, from management, promoter to my training team. We've picked the right fights at the right moments, the right steps.
How good is Grant? Because Grant Smith is
the best.
He's becoming a major player in this game. I mean, it looks like his son Dalton is going to be a new world superstar.
And hopefully,
I know that might be a bit early to say, but
because you know what? They're just proper people. They're lovely, lovely people in and outside the gym. It's probably everyone always come down to Steel City, how welcome it is, how friendly it is, how people make you feel at home. Anyone that usually gets a relationship with our gym, that stays now. They're sparring us for years, and do you know what I mean? Like, I'm down here now
in fact,
today.
Nathan Bennett goes down there.
And they fought. Look, Thomas Asomba today.
Yeah.
My fight before Maruti, he was my opponent. He probably hated my guts after the fight. I ran away from him for 12 rounds. Then he helped me prepare for Maruti, sparring partners. Now we're friends. I'm coming down here today to support him and shout him along.
With a different mindset then, because you know, you said, oh, you've run away, and sometimes your fights have not been perfect. You've won comfortably, but you could have perhaps done more. In this fight, I felt not only did you make this kid miss, but every time you made him miss, you also made him pay. You punished him every time you got an opportunity.
I've always said that I'm one of them fighters that has to raise to a level. If I'm sort of, that's the reason why I never wanted the easiest journeyman. I never wanted the easiest step ups, because I need to be raised to a level. You'll see the worst of me when I'm kind of thinking I'm better than someone. That's when you're seeing me on my arse. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'll be real with you. But then when I'm in with someone, I know that every opportunity that I get given, I need to take, and I need to take it well. And I can't give them any. It makes me come to the level of performance that you see.
So you feel we've not seen the best of you yet?
Maybe not. If Mavritti's the best you've ever seen me in the ring with, and ever will, then maybe. But I don't think that to be true. I think there's going to be harder tests. I think Mavritti 8 years ago might have been a very different fight. I'm not saying I don't think I would have beaten him back then. I'm not saying that, but it might have been. Do you know what I mean? There's too many spinning plates for me to sit here now and think, oh well, I've beaten #1 in the world that's not lost it, and think that's me. That's it. Boxing's easy now. I've clocked it. Do you know what I mean?
Are you already back in the gym?
Yeah. I've been running this morning at 8 o'clock. Half an hour drive to where I meet the rest of the team for another 20-minute drive. Sparred yesterday, 6 rounds. Shout out Ed Hardy. I've been training all week. Yeah, I'm back on it.
He's a good young amateur, isn't he, Ed Hardy?
Yeah, good fighter.
Is he training in your gym now?
No. So he's at Highfields, I believe. I think it is Highfields. Really nice people. He's been to spar down our gym before, and we've known him on the amateur circuit. You know, like the Yorkshire one.
Yeah.
And even from young, I've always seen him to be a good kid. I said to Graham, "Can I have some sparring at the end of the week on my first week back?" And he went, "Oh, let me sort it." Got Ed Hardy in and we're sparring, and then I invited him. I say invited back, I don't mean like that, like I'm big time. We asked him again next week same time, and I think we're going to do it next week same time again. It's good sparring.
Are you getting less or more grief on Twitter?
Less, much less.
Are you getting love now then, mate?
Yeah, I'm getting a lot more love now. It's harder to be negative, like when you've got more to stand on. I've not fought no one, you know what I mean? I've not fought at world level, I've not done this. It's easy to pick holes, but you know, people before were saying, oh well, Mavritti's going to knock him out, Marcel put him down, he's got no knockouts. Of course he is. You know what I mean? Now they can't, it's hard for them to have a measuring stick to really poke at me.
How are you coping with that? Because it seems like you quite like being disliked. So now you're getting love. How are you finding that?
I'm sure it won't take long. I'm always going to do something that's going to annoy someone. And that's the beauty of it. I mean, I don't sort of buy into the love, the hate, or the hype. They're the three things you can't really fall into the trap of believing in too much. I understand right now I'm champion in the world. People see me, it's, I remember seeing him box. If I get knocked out bad in my next fight, it'll be, you know what I mean? It's the freshest thing in people's mind. So right now I'm the flavour of the month. There'll be another one the next month, another one the next month. It's my job and my journey to keep myself mentioned at these names for a long period of time. It's alright getting there, but who wants to get there and then jump straight back down? I want to be here for a long time. So back to your question before, I want to unify. Definitely, I want to undispute. I want Flyweight to be my weight. I think the other 3 champions I've got the beating of, and then I want to start looking at other weights. But right now, I want to be the #1 in the division without any shadow of a doubt.
I remember Steve Lillis interviewed you for our channel not long ago, and it was just before the world title fight. And you said you want to be around for another 10 years.
If not more. Like, I feel like I'm 25, I've been boxing 16 years. And for a 16-year, we've gone through the fights, the title fights that I've gone through, I'm very fresh, I'm very young. You could find people all around me that have been through a lot more damage, and say, in the amount of fights I've had to get to the level I have. Craig Stevens in the back trying to put me out. But yeah, so I feel like I've got loads left to give. Honestly, I genuinely feel like this is just the beginning.
I love that.
I feel like this, yeah, I feel like I've just, it's like I've taken my first step in boxing, because I've been watching the world champions. I watch everyone, but I've been wanting to be at the world champions. And there's some fight. Look, Mavritti, 13 years world level, and before that even. You look at fighters like Manny Pacquiao, the ones that have stayed, and I want to be known as that. Do you know what I mean? I will fight anyone. You'll never see me hiding from fights, protecting record, picking routes. I'm here now. I want to fight anyone. Win, lose or draw, I'll be back. I'll be talking the same, acting the same. I'm very consistent. I'm very real to myself. I feel like world title, no world title. So I think there'll always be somewhere, there'll be some space for me in boxing. Do you know what I mean? For a long, long time, and I hope that stays.
I'd say, I must admit, I was smiling all the way through that, mate. It was a cracking performance, and one of those, like you say, it was a pure boxing display. It was supreme, mate. So congratulations, well done, and hopefully I'll be chatting to you, and you'll be a unified world champion next time.
Yeah, I mean, I just won my world title, and then 2 weeks later, Josh Taylor went undisputed. So that's what I'm trying to do now. I don't want one of them shiny Ring magazine titles, and
you want it all. I'm
ranked number 2 with them. Martinez number 1. So they're the directions I'm heading in. The big fights, the best fights, the fights that the fans want to see. It's hard to get fans in a grand number to be massively excited in flyweight fights.
Yeah.
And lighter weight fights. Just naturally it is. But with a few names that have popped up over the last few years on these shores, you know, you got my brother, you got Cal Yafai, Selby to some extent, even a few before them. We're getting the big names, you know, here now, and the fights are out there that people know about, you know. So like Martinez for me right now would be like my legacy fight. If I go and beat him, that's like, wow, I'd be talked about onto the highest levels of world boxing at the moment because of how.
But if you do that, then what are you going to do in the next 8 years or 10 years? Like
well, I've already boxed at flyweight, super flyweight. I boxed at bantamweight when I've had to.
Well, you did it all wrong though. You started off at, super flyweight, bantamweight, and then.
But my thinking was, if I can beat all these people that are naturally bigger men than me the way I can, when I drop down to the higher level of flyweight, that size might make it a little bit easier. That was my thinking, do you know what I mean?
Well, give us we're going to be watching top of the bill tonight. Your old opponent, like you said, Thomas Swan, your old sparring partner against Mark Leach. Who wins?
Oh man, a Somba. That's who I'm here supporting.
He's a talented lad, I know that.
He's a talented lad, he needs his breakthrough, he's a great
very good fighter to beat him, haven't you?
He's an old opponent of mine, and from that, he became sparring partner. So I've been in the ring with so many people. I had my world title fight, the fighter that I wanted in the ring with me for my most rounds. I had Thomas Somba, I had Brad Foster. You know what I mean? Very good fights. I had a few others as well. But I know how good a Somba is. And I just want to see him put in the stage because he's not had the career that I've had. Anyone from Britain, 2-time Olympian, they're getting all the smoke and the mirrors and the big stages. But because he's a defect from Cameroon, he's had it the hard way. He was a journeyman at the start, hence why his record's a bit left and right.
He's ever journeyman. He just took fights against top
and short notice as well. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
It's always been short notice, and it's just great because when we were sparring, he didn't know what he was doing. He didn't know what he was doing, and with no promoter, it's been very hard for him. So with Fight Zone, with Dennis Hobson and all the other promoters that have jumped in.
Class act, by the way.
Thank you, mate. Thank you. So with everyone coming together, Mr. Hobson, with everyone coming together, they've given someone like Thomas Somba a live streaming service of a fight that's going to be a great fight as well. And I'm grateful to be here in Sheffield. I didn't have to travel too far as well. And I'm here supporting him. I'm
second home, isn't it now?
Yeah. Probably closer to my first time. I spend 99% of my time here. Do you know what I mean? It's where I'm based. I've got 2 kids now. Do you know what I mean? I don't get too much time to myself. But yeah, it's great when they're doing it at Fight Academy. I'm here. I'm supporting it. And I'm supporting Thomas Somba all the way. And it's a hard fight. Don't get me wrong. Don't let my enthusiasm overlook how much I think of Mark Leach as a fighter.
Well, Mark Leach's last performance was magnificent.
Maybe he's been a good fighter. Like when we was having that sort of back and forth when he was asking me to come up to bantamweight.
What do you mean? Because Mark is a little bit older than you, but he was a phenomenal amateur himself.
He was a year younger than my brother, I believe. I remember seeing him against Jerry McDonough in the ABA finals. Charlie boxed on the same day. So I've known Mark Leach and his earlier career than that for a long, long time. He's a very, very good fighter, a very talented lad. But I'm rooting, fingers crossed, and I do genuinely believe Thomas Somba's class. You know what I mean? And every time Thomas Somba causes an upset or beats someone, it makes me look better. Do you know what I mean? There is that. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, no, I'm here. It's going to be a good fight, great fight.
This was a quick interview, but you could talk, mate, and it was nice because it kept me quiet. So, Sonny, it's been a pleasure, and like you say, my new claim to fame, mate. So, well done.
Thank you, mate.
Champ.
For all boxing info, news, and latest interviews, amateur and pro across the north, click and subscribe. VIP Boxing Promotions. Also, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.